I remember a time in my life when I was flat out broke. I don't mean struggling. I mean nothing. No money, no direction, dreams. Sure, I had them, but at the time they felt more like burdens than blessings. I was back home, sleeping on my mama's couch. You ever been there? That place where the silence gets loud, where you start wondering if all the effort is even worth it. One night I was sitting at the kitchen table, late, head in my hands, and my mother walks in, slow, quiet. She doesn't say much, just pours herself a cup of tea, sits across from me, and looks me dead in the eye. She says, "Son, if you're not willing to fight for your future, don't complain about your present." Now she didn't raise her voice. She didn't have to. That sentence felt like a slap and a hug all at once. And I've never forgotten it because she was right. You see the struggle? It ain't the enemy. It's the instructor. It's the trainer in the gym of life. Every setback, every delay, every failure, that's resistance. And resistance builds muscle. It shapes character. It breaks pride, but builds perseverance. You don't grow when it's easy. You grow when it's hard. Think about a seed. You plant it in the dirt. It doesn't bloom because it's comfortable. It breaks open underground, in the dark, in the pressure, surrounded by weight, but that's what makes it rise. Look around you, every giant, every legend, every name we remember. They weren't born strong. They were broken first. They were doubted, denied, dismissed, but they didn't let the world tell them who they were. They fought to define it for themselves. And let me be clear, this isn't about perfection. This is about persistence. You're going to fall. You're going to get hit. There are days that will break your heart and test your spirit. But those are the days that define your story. If you're in the struggle right now, if life feels heavy, if it's all weighing on your shoulders, I want you to hear me loud and clear. That struggle is shaping your strength. That pressure is not punishment. It's preparation. You've got more power than you know, but it only shows up when you're tested. So don't run from the hardship. Don't curse the obstacle. Embrace it. Because on the other side of pain is purpose. On the other side of pressure is power. Keep fighting. And remember, the strength you admire in others, it was forged in the very same fire you're walking through right now. Let me tell you something real. It's easy to believe when the sky is blue, when everything's clicking, when your plans are falling into place, when the people around you are clapping and cheering, and you can see the finish line just ahead. Yeah, that's the easy kind of faith. That kind of belief doesn't cost much. But what about when the lights go out? What about when the door slams shut in your face? When the call doesn't come? When the bank account is dry? Your phone is silent? And your confidence is hanging by a thread? That's where real faith lives. There was a time early in my career, audition after audition, rejection after rejection. I'd walk into a room with my head high and walk out carrying every no like a stone on my back. Some days I thought maybe I'd made a mistake. Maybe this dream wasn't meant for me. Maybe I wasn't good enough. I'd be lying if I said I never doubted. But doubt is a whisper. Faith has to shout louder. I remember standing on a street corner in New York City, looking up at the sky and just saying, "God, I don't know what's next, but I'm still here." Sometimes that's all faith is. Not a thunderous speech, not some big display, just the decision to show up again, Even when your legs are shaking, even when your hands are trembling, fear will always be there. It's patient. It doesn't shout, it creeps in. It waits until you're tired, until you're vulnerable, until you're alone. Then it tells you lies. You're not good enough. It's too late. Nobody cares. You're wasting your time. But that's when faith has to stand up and speak truth. I am not done. I am not broken. I still have breath in my lungs and fire in my chest. See, fear is loud, but it's weak. It feeds off your hesitation. But faith doesn't need the perfect plan. Faith moves when the road isn't clear. Faith trusts that if the door doesn't open, it wasn't your door to begin with. Faith says, I'm not where I want to be, but I'm not where I used to be either. You don't need to see the whole staircase to take the next step. You don't need a crowd to clap for you before you believe in your worth. Sometimes the victory is just waking up, putting your feet on the ground, and deciding not to quit. Because let's be honest, life will test you. It will push you to the edge and ask you, do you really believe in what you say you believe in? And when that moment comes, I hope you remember this. Fear looks backwards, but faith moves forward. So even if your voice shakes, speak. Even if your knees buckle, stand. Even if you're scared, keep walking. That's not weakness, that's courage in its rawest form. Don't let fear write your story. Let your faith write the next chapter. You might not know how the story ends yet, but you're the one holding the pen. Let me ask you something. What are you really fighting for? I'm not talking about just surviving, just getting by, paying bills, or checking boxes. I'm talking about your legacy. I'm talking about what you leave behind when you're no longer in the room. When your voice is quiet and your footsteps have faded, what echoes in your place? You see, we live in a world full of excuses. Everywhere you turn, people are telling you why they can't, why it's too late, why they weren't given the chance. But the truth is, every excuse you make today is a debt your future self will have to pay. And every time you choose to fight through it, instead, every single time you're building something that lasts longer than you. I remember visiting a school one time, and this little boy, maybe 10 or 11, walks up to me, bright eyes, full of fire. He says, "Mr. Washington, how did you make it?" And I looked down at him and said, "Because I couldn't afford not to. Because someone was watching me before I even realized I had something worth showing." You never know who's watching you. Your kids, your neighbors, your younger siblings, your students, your team, they see how you handle pressure. They see how you respond when life knocks the wind out of you. And whether you rise or you run, you're teaching them something. You think your fight is just about you? It's not. You're setting the bar for the ones who come after you. You're building a path with your persistence, brick by brick, step by step, every time you choose not to give up. And here's the thing. Legacy isn't built by people who had perfect lives. It's built by people who kept getting back up. It's built by those who understood that the world doesn't owe you anything, but you owe something to the world, to the people who believe in you, to the dream that's been planted in your chest. When I walk on stage, when I stand in front of a camera, when I speak to a crowd like this, I'm not just thinking about my name. I'm thinking about the people who lifted me. The people who prayed for me when I didn't even know I needed it. The ones who couldn't chase their dreams, so they gave me permission to chase mine. So I fight every day. Not because it's easy, not because I always feel like it, but because I know my fight is my offering. My fight is my responsibility. My fight is my message to the world. You will not break me. I was born to rise. So don't let your excuses outlive you. Let your legacy speak louder. Let your strength inspire someone else's spark. Because in the end, it's not about what you earned, it's about what you gave. It's about how many people were able to stand taller because they saw you refuse to stay down. Now, I want you to take everything we've talked about tonight, all of it, the struggle, the faith, the legacy, and hold it tight. Let it settle in your chest like a fire that won't go out. Because no matter what you're facing, no matter how far you think you have to go, you've got more in you. You've got more fight, more strength, more purpose. You were not made to break. You were not made to quit. You were built for the climb. Every scar you carry, every failure you faced, it's not proof that you're weak. It's proof that you survived. So don't wait for the perfect moment. Don't wait for permission. This is your time. Right now, get up, dust yourself off, and go again. Keep fighting. Even when the odds are stacked, never give up. Even when the world tells you it's over. Because your story isn't finished yet. You're still writing I-tone step, one choice, one brave breath at a time. Let them see your strength. Let them feel your fire. And when they ask how you made it through, you look them straight in the eye and say, because I never stopped fighting and I never gave up. Thank you.